I'm so glad you're here because, on one hand, I'm super glad about this legislation. Unfortunately, it's needed. But on the other hand, I don't think that we should allow Democrats, who are the main drivers of this nonsense, to be bipartisan co sponsors because all they'll do is use this co sponsorship to justify electing congressional members next year.
That is absolutely a great point. Personally, I am so excited to see this legislation. I also agree it's very unfortunate that legislation like this is even necessary in the first place. But we have watched as women's spaces on college campuses have been pervaded by men. Our bathrooms, our locker rooms, our sports teams, dormitories, even our award ceremonies. We've watched as titles and records that belong to women have been handed over to men. It's very exciting to see women's spaces in effort to protect those spaces because, of course, women deserve safety and fairness on college campuses. And we've watched as university administrations have failed. Absolutely failed women when it comes to their safety. We've reported examples at the Leadership Institute's campus reform. So, personally, I'm excited to see this bipartisan legislation.
Yeah, I agree. It's important. We do need it. And the protection of women and girls is of the utmost priority. Now, I noticed that it's very specific. It talks about any student in a single sex social organization. Now, the trick that the Democrats have been playing is they'll say that a biological man, he believes he's a woman, therefore he is a woman. So it's still single sex because there are only women there, except one of them 6'7" and weighs 300 pounds. But they'll say that is a woman too. How does this comport with the actual rules on the ground that women are battling in these places?
A perfect case study that illustrates exactly what you're talking about is at the University of Wyoming. A sorority there allowed a male member to join their sorority, and seven women in the sorority actually sued the chapter because they felt it uncomfortable. They said that this male was staring at them, was peeping at them, making them uncomfortable in their living space. And unfortunately, we actually saw a federal judge rule in favor of this man in this women's space. That story is a perfect example of why legislation is necessary, a perfect example of why we need to codify definitions of what it means to be a woman, the biological definition. Unfortunately, that is necessary, especially when we see federal judges or university administrations ruling and favoring the political ideology that favors that radical gender ideology instead of biological reality.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.